Hello everybody, I'm Mango Thunderslice, and today I'm going to be talking about the greatest story of our time, the backstory of the 2016 election between Trump and Clinton, and really the global takedown of the Satanic Cabal, which is really, I think, progressing to a crescendo point, a boiling point right now. And that's kind of the metaphor for my message today, that the boiling point is being reached, right? I was just making some tea and watching the water boil, and right, like, water is very peaceful when it's in its normal temperature range of liquid, but then as the temperature starts to get heated up and heated up and heated up, and more energy is coursed into the system, more energy is surging between each of the water molecules, eventually you start to see the water start to boil. Okay, you start to see these little bubbles popping up on the bottom of the pot. I'm sure you've all seen it, but you know, this is the metaphor that was running through my mind, that basically the water is our culture, it's our lives, it's basically everything, our communications, right? And this time is basically the boiling point. There's so much energy being coursed into the system that basically now a regular human is becoming a superhuman, and this is happening all over the place. There is a phase shift from liquid to gas, and that's really what's happening, is that people are not sitting back and taking it anymore. They're actually recording themselves just like this and putting that message out into the universe and letting the powers that be or whoever know that we are not going to take this anymore, okay? You've had us be compliant, passive citizens for all these years, and we've sat back and take it. You know, and all these freaking, scandals and, horrible instances of corruption, and now basically these freaking terrorist attacks, and, oh, just have a hashtag, my thoughts and prayers are for the people, It's just a whole bunch of garbage. They manufacture these terrorist attacks, they manufacture the false, insincere responses to it, and it's all this this disgusting program, and it's beautiful to see how many people are calling it out right now. And this is really, this is the boiling point. The Seth Rich thing is absolutely bringing this whole thing to a crescendo, to a boiling point. Like, we're seeing people coming out, anons on Reddit, basically saying, like, I work in D.C. and I've never seen these high-level Democrats basically freaking out as much as they are about this whole Seth Rich thing, okay? Because there is smoking gun. There's literally evidence in the Podesta emails. He says, it's time to make an example of the leaker. I'm totally for that. And then soon after that, Seth Rich was gunned down in D.C., the supposed robbery, and nothing of value was taken. Basically, supposedly he was still alive when the police got to him. They took him to the hospital, and then he died in the ICU, and the doctors are coming out saying, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. They wouldn't let me in to help him. So this stinks to high heaven, and it's very clear to people that it stinks to high heaven, and even Sean Hannity is coming out and breaking the Seth Rich story and investigating it. And this is, again, just like, in my last political video, when you see Fox News coming out with revolutionary perspectives and information, you know that something behind the scenes is happening. This is Fox News, for Christ's sake. During the Bush years was basically the pulpit from presidential propaganda, right? And now all of a sudden it's being used as a tool of the revolution, if you will. And I'm not gonna loud Fox News too much and give them too much praise, but this is incredible that this story is being broken by Hannity, a person who I normally haven't respected too much, but this is really something. And basically I intuitively kind of felt that this would be the case, that basically Trump would have to deal with all of these shenanigans immediately after the election, the Russiagate, Russophobia, Putin, right? And basically would have to deal with that for a series of months until a time came when he would be firmly established and his cabinet would be firmly enough established to start making counter moves. Okay, and I think that point is now being reached. And it's interesting because as soon as the Seth Rich thing came out, all of a sudden you saw the talk of impeachment of Trump just go out the window, because they know how sensitive this Seth Rich thing is, and the whole Podesta, emails and this whole WikiLeaks thing. Because if people actually look into the pedogate, into the Pizzagate stuff, and realize that their elected officials are the most disgusting, horrific, degenerate excuses for human beings that the planet has ever seen, well, the Democrats and the Republicans alike, they know what the humans of planet Earth would do if they were to actually come into that information like full spectrum. And that's what's happening right now. That's the boiling point. The people do know. And, Kim.com coming out and, and not offering a whole lot of details, but just, again, injecting energy into the system. And it's just really miraculous to see. George Webb, who's been investigating this thing like a champion the whole time since the election, basically, his story, I just saw it, by, what's his name, Luke Rosiak, for the Daily Caller. It was linked on Zero Hedge. Okay, and it's about the Awan brothers, Imran Awan, and these other Pakistani information technology employees of Congress. Basically, these guys were basically managing the routers and all of the electronic devices for all these members of Congress, including Debbie Wasserman Shultz, the one who basically rigged the election against Bernie Sanders and for Hillary Clinton. Okay, they work for all these different congressional members. They're paid more than members of Congress. They're making like $250,000 each. Imran Awan and his three brothers. I mean, for God's sake, these are probably Pakistani intelligence operatives. And again, this goes back to, if you go back to the last political video I did, the one about Trump gets the green light to attack North Korea, I talk about all of these rat lines, all of these heroin lines, okay? All of the heroin coming out of Afghanistan basically is coming through Pakistan. Pakistani intelligence is working with high-level congressional Democrats as well as Republicans to move these drugs into the country. The Clintons have been involved in drug trafficking since the early days, since the 80s and 90s. Mena, Arkansas, anyone? The Clintons were flying in so much cocaine into the Mena, Arkansas airport. And this is literally like 30 years ago at this point, okay? What do you think they've been doing since then? They destroyed Libya, all right, and they've been manufacturing these whole criminal enterprises through the tools of the imperial American state. All right, so basically it's just really amazing to see this research coming out. George Webb's research getting linked on Zero Hedge, Seth Rich getting up, basically boosted by Kim.com and Sean Hannity. And this is not about to cool down. We are about to enter the gauntlet, if you will. And it's very interesting because I even read something about, I wasn't able to find too much information about it, but supposedly there's actually a trial against Jeffrey Epstein this summer, and Trump is actually named as a witness. So I don't have too much information about that, but I really think that we're heading into some sort of strike zone for this whole pedogate thing, for the whole Pizzagate thing. I mean, you got John Podesta coming out, making ridiculous statements in the public. I mean, they are freaking out right now, and you know how close you are to the target when you can see how much they're firing at you. And right now, the Democrats and all these people, it's not just the Democrats, it's all these people within Congress, within our government, who are disgusting, degenerate excuses for human beings. And now their satanic crimes are coming to light, and it's because of the awesome work of amazing human beings on this planet. And I just want to wish them Godspeed, and may the force be with you, because it's going to get more intense. But I just want you and the world to know that we are not afraid, and we're going to keep pressing this until we have truth released, full spectrum on this planet, so that we can build a world that actually makes people happy on the basis of that truth. And we will have paradise, and this is a beautiful time. So I'm very excited. I just wanted to share a little bit of perspective with you, and I hope you guys have a great day. Cheers.